Ooh, family, are you there? Well, come on in. I am so happy that you could find some time to spend with me in the continuation of our Tilda doll. This one is a Tilda Ballerina. I've already placed the first video. And today we're going to do the continuation of placing the body parts on the doll. I went ahead and flipped her inside out, and I did also the legs, and I stitched the top, and I flipped the arms inside out, and I stitched the edge that goes against the body. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them aside a minute because I have some examples of how I flip them. I did the stuffing and the flipping and the stuffing ahead of time in essence of time, but I made sure I had extra pieces from another doll to demonstrate how we flip it inside out. There are various ways you can do it, various instruments you can use. You don't have to go out there and buy these stuff. As long as you use even something as simple as a skewer stick, but make sure the tips are not sharp. First of all, I want to show you an example of what can occur if, when we are cutting the excess fabric, we go too close to the seam, and if we don't notice it before flipping the doll, we might see it by the time we start stuffing. And this is what can take place. Two things: the excess fabric in the circumference was trimmed off too close to the stitch, or we used a sharp object like the tip of a scissors when we were flipping the doll inside out. This is what can occur. And it can become a nightmare because it's either you patch it up, because later on you might put some hat or ornament or hair on the doll, and you figure, okay, it's not going to show, which is fine, you can do that. Or you'll have to just, you know, flip her inside out and sew it over again. Another thing I wanted you to notice is what can happen if your front and back fabrics are not lined up when before you start sewing it. And I hope you can see it, like one piece is higher than the other, one piece is higher than the other. That can take place. Don't get all fussed up when you see this occurring, as of course you have a choice to either redo the doll or conceal it with ornament, because it's, you know, it's your doll. At the end of the day, it's your doll, and you're gonna end up, excuse me for moving away, you'll end up probably putting so many ornaments on it that wouldn't show. See, you wouldn't see it. So I just wanted you to be aware that that can take place, that can occur. So let me show you the gadgets that I use to flip my doll pieces. These are surgical instruments, surgical tools. They're called, and I have to write it down because I keep forgetting, hemostatic forceps. And they come in different sizes and different shapes and different lengths. They sell them in a pack. Amazon does. And other companies. I'll put the link in the description area of the video if you're interested in purchasing it. They were not that expensive. They come in very handy. Another item that you can get is called Inside Out Turn It All. Is also from Amazon, and they're just various tools you can use to turn your doll pieces inside out. This one came with 6 pieces, And there's different ways you can use this to turn your doll pieces inside out. I'm going to demonstrate how I use these items or the hemostatics. So the kind of filler that I use, I'll put the description in the description area, or I'll put a picture of it. I also purchased it from Amazon. If you can't get it, you can use an old pillow. That one you usually would have discarded anyways. Wash it, dry it. You open it up and loosen up the pieces. Now, for the doll, the head, don't get too eager filling it because it might bottle up and you won't be able to get to the curves. So I usually just stretch it out like in a long piece like this. You could use your hands. If you don't have these tools, it's okay. You don't have to purchase them. You just grab it and small pieces, small amounts. Grab it and just start placing small amounts. If you want to do it manual, you can do it like this. And use one of your fingers and make sure the head is sturdy enough before you start doing the neck. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. So after it's all filled up, we have to close. You see it has a little, let me see if you can see it, a little extra out. We have to close it with needle and thread. So we patiently fold it in. Fold the fabric inside. Okay, now that we've had both arms ready, stuffed and stitched, let's go and take care of the legs. We stuffed, and at the top leave about a finger width of fabric, and you go to the sewing machine and you stitch it, or you can hand stitch it. Of building Tildas, I'm going to tell you, I've made dozens of them, but I hate putting on the legs. And I've tried many ways. I've seen other YouTubers do them, and I just keep trying to see if I can get it done the easiest way. One of the easiest way for me is, and which many other doll makers do, well, actually it is supposed to be this way, but you know, you by the time you do 2 or 3 of them, you kind of like figure out there must be an easier way to do this. Nonetheless, I take my thread and I baste stitch it, the leg to the dress, to the body piece. If you don't want to base stitch, you can just pin it. Oh, and I didn't fill it up all the way. I held it here so to give me space to work with. So we get it based on the doll. Excuse the position. No harm intended. Then we go to the sewing machine and we stitch it across. Now that we have them stitched on, we're going to continue stuffing the doll, the body. After the legs are on, we pin the arms to then sew it on. But before you do that, you need to decide whether you're going to put something to the top or you're going to leave it like that. So now let's work on the tutu. I placed tulle under the tutu and the organza over it. What I did was the organza was 30 in length and 4 inches the width of the fabric. So I did a 30 inches strip. I folded in half. I stitched it across with a sewing machine, so it became 15-ish, 14, 15-ish, because by the time you do the seam. Then I took the tool and I cut it 3 times 30, so that's about 90 inches long. So after I did this, I folded the tool about 3 times and then stretched it across the organza, stitch, stitch, stitch all around until you reach wherever folding it might overlap, but you sew it on the sewing machine. So this will be our tutu. So I pulled out a few pieces. I have ribbon, I have some roses, I need to pull out some pearls, and I also have a little crown for her. So these are going to be some of the items that we will be working with next video. Thank you for coming by, and I hope you enjoyed it and learned something. And yes, we make errors. That's okay. That's what learning is all about. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.